Double tap here, Mike. Hi, everybody. Good morning. It is Wednesday, and I'm going to go back and finish the Wizard's Choice because I love the continuing storyline. And I was told by you all that I should go back and complete the very first adventure, though you are not required to. You can jump in the adventure anytime you want, but just like any really good interactive novel, you're going to want to complete the earlier stories so you're not like caught off guard, you don't receive spoilers, because I did get a huge spoiler in part 2. So yes, I would advise all of you try to complete each part one at a time. But anyway, we're back. Hope everybody slept well. Hope you had a good day yesterday on Tuesday. And I just finished yoga, just took a nice shower. I have an apple and a banana for my breakfast. I have a cup of double tap coffee. Marissa provided me with some lovely breakfast. I love you so much. Thank you, baby. And just sending big shouts out to her. The music is by currently the app. This is the app's music. So this is D&D Story RPG Choices game. Hey, look at that. I actually got the whole title. You can find all the information in my description. I will be using MyNoise after we start the game, but I wanted you to hear the game's music. So this is lovely, and this is a good opportunity for me to
volume 100%,
turn my speaking rate down.
50%, 55%, 60%. Words, characters, vertical headings.
Yeah, some apps 65% is pretty fast, and some apps 60% is better. So for this app, I have it down at 60%. Now there are several apps where VoiceOver reads really slow, so I don't mind going up to 65. But it seems to work really well. Also, it lets me take a little relaxing moment to drink coffee while it reads the exposition and description. And remember, I want to let Samantha read all the description with VoiceOver because it is really part of the game. And we're partners here. I let VoiceOver as my partner, and I let VoiceOver read a lot of description. It works really well for me. And yeah, I've been using Samantha since day one. All right, I think we're really good. Let's go ahead and start the adventure, and then we're going to put on some MyNoise.
Tap to begin your adventure. Tap to begin your adventure. Spider climb spell. Mana D&D story RPG. Life 12.
All
Mana,
right,
7,
we're going to go
gold,
back
1.
to the beginning.
D&D story RPG. Back button.
Let's go
D&D
back.
story. Wizard's Choice 3. Button. Wizard's Choice 2. Wizard's Choice 1.
Wizard
button.
Choice 1.
Life minus 91. Mana 1. Gold 340. Morale 11. Dimmed.
Okay.
Game, certainly. They plan to sacrifice the unicorn.
All right.
And we must act before they do so. If
We
we
are
can scatter them long
going
enough,
to-
Siba can cut the unicorn free. Then we would have an additional ally.
This is where we lost. Okay.
We shall strike like with you and Reginald
I
in the
wonder
lead.
if we could
You
start
rush up the
this
grassy
over
hill.
again here.
The murmur, skullsandsmoke.jpg. Certainly. Life. Minus 9. Go back to previous choices. Life. Minus 91. Mana.
Okay.
1. Gold. Go back to previous choices. Show game menu. But change text size and color. Show achievements. Button.
Let's see if we could restart this.
Certainly. Life. Minus 91. Go back to previous choices. Button. Show game menu. Button.
Game menu.
Show game menu.
Can we restart
button.
this?
Remove ads. Button. Restore purchases. Ring city map. Button.
No.
Sync across devices. Switch button. On.
No.
Game sound effect. Sync across. Switch button. On. Game sound effects. Button. Switch button. On.
Okay, no.
Show all red. Switch button. Off.
I want to restart.
About. Button. Facebook. Button.
Okay.
About. Game. Switch button. Sync across devices. Ring city map. Restore purchases. Remove ads. But purchase premium. But get more coins and luck. Ellipsis. Game menu. Get more coins and luck. Ellipsis.
I actually want to get more coins and luck. I'll work on that later.
Game menu. Heading. Back button.
Let's go
Back button.
back.
Certainly. We shall strike like lightning with you and Reginald in the lead. Certainly. They plan to life. Minus 91. Go back to previous choices. Button. Show game menu. Button. Change text size and color. Button. Show. Go back to previous choices.
Let's see if we
button.
can go back
to
to
previous choices.
beginning.
Back button. Luck. 23. Button. Luck. 23. Deaths. 1. We all make mistake. Use fire and steel. Mana 6. Follow them. Use. We all. Deaths. Luck. 20. Back button. Back button.
Okay, I wonder how do we start over again, or will it let us start over again? Because I want to start from the very beginning.
Run away. This is the try to close it. This run away. This is the choice you're currently on. Button.
Okay.
Try to close it. This is the throw your backpack at it. This is the choice you're currently on. Button.
Okay.
Try to disrupt the fiend's arrival. Open the door. This is prepare a spell. Mana 2. Use the key now. This is the choice you're currently on. Button.
All right, we're on this choice, but I want to start all over again.
Throw your backpack. Try to close it. Run away. Find Siba first. Offer her your blanket. This is the continue. This is offer her your blanket. This is the choice you're currently on. Continue. Follow them. This use fire and steel. Mana 6. We all make mistakes. Here's your chance to make things right. Go back to previous choices by selecting an item below. It'll cost you 1 luck for every choice you go back. Note that you can always restart or go back to checkpoints for no cost.
How do you restart? That's what I'm trying to do. Okay. If anybody knows a faster way to do this, see, I'm trying to restart the whole game.
Use fire and steel. Mana. We all make mistakes. Deaths. 1. Button.
Can I restart?
Deaths. Alert. Cheat death. Backed yourself into a corner and need to wipe your death slate clean to get that elusive untouchable achievement? Well, now you can for the low price of 5 luck. Would you like to continue?
Oh, you can get rid of deaths?
Cancel. Okay. Button. Cancel.
No,
button.
I don't want to do that. I just want to
Offer
restart.
her your blanket. This is the choice you're currently on. Use fire. Follow them. This is the choice you're currently on. Continue. Offer her your blanket. Find Siba first. Run away. Try to close it. This is the choice you're... Offer her your... Continue. Follow them. Use fire and steel. Mana. We all make mistakes. Here's your chance to make things right. Go back to previous choices by selecting an item below. It'll cost you 1 luck for every choice you go back. Note that you can always restart or go back to checkpoints for no cost.
Okay.
Deaths. 1. Button. Luck. 23. Button.
We have 23 luck.
Back button.
I'm trying to go back to the beginning.
Back button.
Let's try to go
Back button.
back.
Certainly. They plan to sacrifice the unicorn. Certainly. We shall strike with you and Reginald. A burst of flame shoots. Unfortunately for you. And then they... Alice. You find... Skullsandsmoke.jpg. Start over. Button.
Oh, there it is. Start over again. Okay, let's hit that.
Start over.
All
Life.
right.
12. Mana. 14. Gold. 0. Morale. 0. Dim.
Perfect. Okay, it was simple. I just needed to listen to that whole page. All right, cool. We are starting over.
WC. Wizard's Choice 1. By Sam Landstrom.
All right, thank you, Sam Landstrom. So that is the author of the story. Let's go ahead and put on some MyNoise.
App Switcher. D&D Story. YouTube. Audible. Messages. Lost Vault. YT Studio. Path of Advent. Music. Notes. iMovie. Redwood CU. Seeing AI. Future Arena. MyNoise.
All right, we got MyNoise.
D&D Story RPG MyNoise. MyNoise.
Let's put
MyNoises.
on...
Heading. Temple Bells.
What should we use here? Let's go.
Tab bar. Calibrations.
And
Tab. 3 of 5.
MyNoise is great because I can set the mood the way I want.
Calibrations. Favorites. Tab.
Let's
Selected.
go
Favorites.
to
Marimbas. Default.
Marimbas.
Actions available. Circuit bending. Favorite on July 12th. Calm Lake. Default.
Calm Lake sounds
Actions available.
nice.
Neural Symphony. Default.
Neural Symphony.
Actions available.
What's this?
30%. Adjustable. Pulse low. Swipe up or down with one thing. Favorites. Back button.
No,
Favorite.
not quite.
Neural Symphony. Night Blue. Default. Underwater. Favorite on July 5th.
Underwater.
Hydrogen 12. Favorite. Tantura. Default.
No,
Dark Dungeon. Path of Adventure.
I like Dark
Actions available.
Dungeon. It sounds good. Let's go for Dark Dungeon.
44%. Adjustable.
Dark
Rumble.
Dungeon.
Swipe up or down with
Always
one finger
of
to
my
adjust the value.
favorites. Okay, we got Dark Dungeon. Let's increase that.
Equalizer up. Timer. Equalizer up. Equalizer up. Equalizer up.
Excuse me. Okay, Dark Dungeon.
Button. Equalizer down. Button. Button. Equalizer up. Button.
Okay.
Increase all. Equalizer up.
Okay, Dark Dungeon is nice and loud. Now let's go ahead and add a little music to it.
Multi. Button.
And that's what you have.
Customize mix for Dark Dungeon. Button.
So now we're going to add.
Customize mix for. Customize mix. Share. Button. Add generator.
Let's
Button.
add a generator to it.
Super generator. Back button.
So this is how you make music. So you can add. I have Dark Dungeon playing, and now I'm going to add a little bit of a melody to it.
White Noise and Company. Colored noise generator. Binaural beat machine. Pure sine dope. Rain noise. The rain without the wet feet. Unreal ocean. Tranquil waves. Tibetan choir. Overdone singing. Temple bells. The chimes without the wind. Flying fortress. The sound of the B-17. Furry friend. Purring cat. Warp speed. Soundscape for sci-fi fans. Dark dungeon. Dungeon without dragon. Cafe restaurant. Noise without caffeine. Spring walk. Spring. All year round. Distant thunder. Thunder and rain. Oblivion. Eerie soundscape generator. RPG battlefield. War with dices. Underwater. Fin whale calling. Irish coast. C. Wind and rain. Circuit bending. Transistor rhythm machine. Tampura. Tampura drone generator. Bilateral harmonics. Stereophonic dope. Dark forest. RPG atmosphere. Telecaster licks. Guitar improv.
Oh yeah, I love guitar improv. Let's go ahead and get that.
Button. Remove dark dungeon from the multi-generator.
Guitar improv is sweet.
Customize mix for dark dungeon. But customize mix for Telecaster licks. Button. 40%. Adjustable. Bass note. Swipe up or down with one finger to adjust the value.
Let's go ahead and increase the volume on that a bit.
Animate. Button. Favorite toggle. Button. Equalizer down. Button. Equalizer up. Button.
Go ahead and increase that.
Equalizer up. Equalizer up.
And a little bit more.
Equalizer up.
There we go. Creepy with a little bit of mood music. And
Timer. Multi. Button.
hit that multi button.
Remove dark dungeon
And
from the
now
multi-generator.
you can remove anything you don't like. You can also individually change what sounds are in these generators. I just keep them as is if I'm in a hurry.
Customize button. Save button.
Now you just hit that save button.
Save alert. Super gen name.
You can name it whatever you want.
How do you want to text field? Is edit clear text button. Cancel button. Save button.
I just hit save.
Save
And
button.
guess what? We're done.
App switcher. MyNoise. Act. DN. U. YT Studio. Path of Adventure. Music. Path of Music. Notes. iMovie. Redwood CU. Seeing AI. Future Arena. Bard Mobile. CSC Go. Facebook. Active. App Store. The Ensign. Netflix. Active. Pattern Play Story. Mail. Lost Air 1.
Let's
Swipe up
see
with
here.
MyNoise. Telecaster licks. Back button.
Let's do this
YouTube.
easier
2209. Games folder. 6 apps. Adventure games folder. 6 apps. Opening Adventure Games folder. Adventure Games. Pocket Reality. Future Arena. The Ensign. Lost Air 1. Lost Air 1. Path of Adventure. D&D Story RPG.
Okay, I have too many apps
D&D Story
open.
RPG.
All right, there we go. Okay, we're good to go. All right, now we have our music by MyNoise. We have our coffee. I'm rationing my coffee this week to 2 cups a day, if I can. See if that works. I doubt it, but you know. Why am I rationing my coffee? To save money. Gets expensive, folks. K-cups are not cheap. All right. I usually drink about 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day. If I can cut that in half, I'll save maybe $50 a month. That's $600 a year. All right. Let's see here. And if I could, I've also cut my eating out quite a bit out. So I'm currently only ordering it on date night. So when we have our date night, me and Marissa, we usually order something out. But we've actually been cooking in almost every day. We had pasta yesterday. The day before that, we had beans, rancheros. Before that, we had pancakes, and before that, we had spaghetti. Before that, we've been really eating at home, and for lunch, we're eating leftovers, and for breakfast, we're usually doing the usual light fare. We've done a few Starbucks. You know, I mean, we're human. We're human. I understand. I know it's not cost effective to order out. It's very expensive. But actually, a lot of things we do saves money. Like we'll actually walk over to Starbucks, take Joey out and walk him around, and then what we do is get him to blow the stank off, and then take a little poopy, and we get a little exercise, and we get to chat, you know, and then. We hit Starbucks, meet our favorite baristas over here in Midtown. And then after we get our favorite, I usually get a Sia, like water and fruit and with some ice. So it's great for hot days. Marissa usually gets either that or she gets a coffee. We get the girls whatever they want. Joey gets to flirt with all the other doggies out there, especially he likes to flirt with the whatever he is, his breed. He likes to flirt with his own breed. He really likes to. He likes little dogs. He doesn't like big dogs. Dogs that are bigger than him, he goes, no. So he definitely likes to flirt with smaller dogs, I meant to say. So he likes little dogs a lot. Yep. All right. Seems we're really good here. Looks like we're ready to go. I don't feel like I need to hit the restroom before I get started here. I think I'm good. All right, let's see if we can beat it this time. I need to do a little bit more research on how important luck is to our overall abilities and scores. I don't know if luck has how important luck is, how much that affects our final score. Again, there's a lot I have to learn about the choice game. There's also some subscriptions you can order. I don't want a subscription. I already have so many subscriptions. But if it winds up being a game I play a lot and it saves me money, then I might do it. So, never say never, you know? Again, like I said, it's been a good morning already. We had a good yoga session, got a really good sweat in there. I feel really good. Got my shower fix yesterday. Thank you to my awesome maintenance folks over here. They're giving me that love, taking care of us. My shower's clean. I scrubbed it yesterday. Now I just need to scrub my kitchen again and vacuum again. It's every week, right? Yep. All right, let's get started here. I think I'm ready to go.
WCV1 Image, Wizard's Choice 1. By Sam Landstrom. Summary, you play the part of a wizard in a medieval fantasy world. Content warning, violence and dark. Begin. Button.
Let's begin.
Life, 12. Mana, 14. Gold, 0. Morale, 0. Dim. WCV1 Image. You are a young wizard seeking treasure and glory. You are walking along a path in the forest one day's journey from Ring City, your beloved home. Night has just fallen and you're thinking about how it might be a good idea to find a campsite. After all, you're in goblin territory, and it's dangerous to travel in the dark.
Okay, some of these choices we've done before, so I won't really explain why, but a lot of this I know, but I'll be trying to get achievements. We have our achievement sounds, so if we do get some achievements and items, you'll hear this sound. And there's other sounds for when we do very badly. You'll hear this sound. And there's some other happier sounds. When we lose health, you might hear this sound. It could be many different things. I'll let you know. You'll get the gist of it. We'll have some screaming goats and other sounds. And we can talk normally. It's about 9 o'clock already. I have my window open, letting a little fresh air in. But it's not early. So we're not going to be disturbing anybody.
Suddenly, you smell something awful. Reginald, are you responsible for that outrageous smell? You ask the warrior striding ahead of you. Pray, no, I am always downwind from my companions when I squeeze the bellows. Reginald answers. You realize that you have never encountered this stench before, and it is close. Ellipsis. And perhaps it's your imagination, but is that muffled breathing you just heard? What do you do?
All right, choice.
Shout a warning to Reginald. Button. Dive flat on your face. Button. Hide. Button. Stop and listen. Button. Stop and listen. Button. Stop and listen. Life, 12. Mana, 12. Gold, 0. Morale, 2. Dim.
All right.
Mana decreases 2.
Looks like we did something wrong.
Life, go back to previous choices. Life, 12. Mana, 12. Mana decreases 2. Morale increases 2. No need to panic yet, you think. You grab Reginald by the shoulder and gesture for him to be quiet. The two of you stand motionless for a few long seconds before you hear a low wheezing sort of breathing. Reginald must have heard it, too, because he raises his sword defensively. A series of snorts is followed by several goblins with green-tinted skin charging out of hiding toward you.
Right. Alright, goblin attack.
With an arcane word and a flourish of one hand, you send a bolt of fire into the leader of the charge, who drops to the ground thrashing in flames. Reginald hacks down another with his sword. The remaining 3 run away, whooping and yipping.
Alright, we got the first group done. We're gonna get a lot more.
Soon their cries are joined by others from the dark forest all around you. Many calls from far too many goblins to fight toe-to-toe. It is a hunting party tracking wild game, I wager. Human is a delicacy, much better than mutton, Reginald says. You regard the 2 dead goblins on the ground. Dead goblins are worth 10 gold pieces per head in the city. Luckily, you don't need to carry their heads around. The city authorities will accept their left ears.
Alright, we can do that, or we can not do that.
What do? Cut the ears off, button. Just run, button. Just run, button.
We're not cutting any ears off today, I'm not in the mood.
Cut the ear, just run, button. Just run. Life, 12, mana, 12, gold, 0, morale, 2, dim. The forest is crawling with goblins. It is time to flee, you shout, and the 2 of you run into the forest in a direction from which you do not yet hear their cries. What now? Reginald asks, panting after you have run for a stretch. Certainly there are excellent places to hide in the forest. If we can just survive until morning. Ellipsis. Exactly. The goblins may have hunting dogs or even wolves, and their own sense of smell is keen, you say. We might climb a tree, then. That would at least be defensible, Reginald suggests. You wish to be treated like a fox with goblins barking underneath? If you wish a position that is both defensible and allows some freedom of movement, we should hasten to Castle Inverness. It is near, and we could fortify ourselves behind those walls, Reginald says. You frown. It is a fortress, yes, but inhabited by what? Gods know what manner of creatures may have taken up residence in that ruin over the years. Hide in the forest, button.
Alright, so now we have some more choices. And again, it doesn't matter if you play through this. There's always something different that kind of happens.
Climb a large tree, button.
I don't think we're going to climb a tree. It seems silly.
Garrison in the ruin, button. Garrison in the ruin. Climb a large, hide in the forest, button.
We can also hide in the forest. That never turns out well.
Climb a large tree. Garrison in the ruin, button.
Let's go garrison in the ruins.
Garrison in the ruin. Life, 12, mana, 12, gold, 0, morale, 2, dim. Castle Inverness is near. Let us take refuge behind those stone walls, you say. Goblin hunting calls echo from all around in the forest as the 2 of you dash up the path 100 meters or so, where you find a fork in the road. The path to the right appears to be seldom used since it is nearly overgrown. The path to the left is clear, and you think you see firelight down that way. Could this fire belong to the goblins? Or, if you're lucky, is it the campfire of another friendly adventuring party?
Now I do remember these are goblins.
What do? Castle, never question a wizard, button. Investigate fire, button.
Yeah, that's just going to be some goblins.
Investigate fire, castle, never question a wizard, button.
Let's go to the castle. I'm going to deal with the goblins.
Castle, never question a wizard. Life, 12, mana, 12, gold, 0, morale, 3, dim. Morale increases 1. Enough foolishness. To Castle Inverness and her blessed walls you proclaim. Reginald raises his fist. Yes, may their puny bodies break against our stone defenses. Continue, button.
Okay.
Continue, button. Continue. Life, 12, mana, 12, gold, 0, morale, 3, dim. After a minute of stumbling down what is best described as a game trail, you see the shadowy husk of the ruin in the moonlight ahead. Unfortunately, the battle cries of your pursuers are closer than ever, and when you look back over your shoulder, you see glowing eyes.
Okay.
The 2 of you turn on a boost of speed, and soon the outer wall of the castle looms before you. It is about 10 feet high and crumbling. You realize with horror that there are no holes on this side that are large enough to fit through. Meanwhile, Reginald, a faster runner than yourself, has disappeared around the north corner of the wall.
Okay.
A short spear whistles past your head. You look back and see at least 4 of the little beasts.
Okay.
WC1goblins.jpg. Image. What do? Follow Reginald. Button.
We could follow Reginald.
Jump the wall spell. Mana 1.
Jump
button.
the wall spell. We're not wasting mana on this stuff.
Turn and blast them. Mana 4. Button.
We're not wasting that much mana. I've learned do not waste mana.
Turn and blast them. Mana. Jump the heading. Follow Reginald.
Let's
button.
just follow Reginald. He knows how to run.
Follow Reginald. Life, 10, mana, 12, gold, 0, morale, 3, dim. Life decreases 2.
Oh, we lost life.
You turn north to follow Reginald. You've almost reached the corner when an arrow stabs into your shoulder.
Great.
When you round the corner you don't see your friend, but there is a section of partially crumbled wall that you think you can climb swiftly. Another arrow whistles by before you're able to roll over the top of the battlement and onto the rotten wooden floorboards on the other side.
Well,
in a few seconds,
we lost a
there are
little
4
life.
goblins at the base of the wall, chattering angrily. One of them begins climbing up the rotten rock. You decide this is a good place to take a stand.
Okay, we might have to start killing them right now.
There is a lot of loose rock at the top of the wall. You're not particularly strong, thanks to your inactive life as a wizard. However, you expect you could push a few large rocks down upon this climber. On the other hand, they are all out in the open, and your combat spells would certainly be effective now.
Yeah, let's just save the magic as much as possible.
What do you do? Push rocks down on the climber button.
If we can. This game has a tricky habit of punishing you for your class.
Just fry the climber. 2 mana. Fry them all. 4 mana. Button. Just push rocks down on the climber button.
Let's save the mana for now.
Push rocks down on the
Let's see
climber.
how this works.
Life 10 mana 12 gold 0 morale 4 dim.
Ooh, actually, morale's going up.
Morale increases 1. Absolutely. Why waste your magical energy? Mana when. Instead, you can use the time-honored trick of hurling rocks down upon your enemy. Very medieval of you.
That's to be our sin. Alright, let's see what we're doing here.
Boost your stats button. Show achievements. Change text size and show game menu. But go back to previous choices button.
I didn't know you can boost your stats. Looking at some of these choices you can do here, I might start getting some of this stuff.
Life 10 mana 12
And of course,
gold,
if you all
0
want
morale, 4
to
dim. Game
offer
stats.
me some cool stuff, you can also donate to Game, the Prime channel. You want me to do a certain thing in the game, you want to boost my stats or purchase something for me, you can always do it and donate to Game. I have super chats set up as well as thanks. That's always welcome. All right, so I'm gonna peek at those things when I'm off record.
Morale increases 1. Absolutely. Why waste your magical energy? Mana when.
All right,
Instead,
so we're gonna
you can use the
drop
time-honored
this
trick of hurling
on
rocks down
this
upon your enemy. Very medieval of you.
Goblin.
Sure enough, there are some large loose stones nearby, which you push down upon the climbing attacker. The first one misses, but he looks up just in time to get a melon-sized rock right to the face, making a
Nice.
watery, crunching sound. He falls back down onto the earth where he lies motionless.
Sorry, dude. Self-defense.
The other 3 look up, scream in rage, and back off. Suddenly, you feel the battlement boards below you shake to the unmistakable rhythm of footfalls.
Uh-oh.
Gods, they got behind me, you think.
It's probably Reginald.
Charging along the runway is a shadow of a tall and lanky man carrying something. A bow. Reginald, you sigh in relief. He must have found another way in.
Okay, we got Reginald back. We're still okay.
Reginald leans over the wall, and, seemingly without even aiming, lets loose an arrow. One of the little devils below falls to the ground, squirming with an arrow in its chest. The others scatter back toward the forest. With their eyes turned away, they make difficult targets in the scant moonlight. Nevertheless, your friend takes one more down before the rest make the safety of the woods.
Cool. Good job, Reginald.
We have struck terror into that advance party, but they will call for reinforcements. We have the wall. Can we hold it? Reginald asks.
Okay.
We could go in. You point to the castle keep beyond the courtyard. The castle is 3 stories tall, or at least it had been before the top layer partially collapsed. The second story is barely any better. The fortress is as lifeless and still as a painting. Still, you wonder if anyone is looking back at you from the dark windows and arrow slits of the ruin.
Yeah, it looks like the Path of Adventure Castle. Let's go ahead and go in.
What do you suggest? Prepare a wall defense, button. Enter the castle now, button. Enter the castle now, button.
Wall defense sounds like a waste of time.
Enter the castle now, button.
Though we could get rid of a lot of these goblins this way. That is true. Let's just... Either choice is fine.
Prepare a wall defense, button. Enter the castle
Let's
now,
just enter
button.
the castle.
Enter the castle now. Life, 10, mana, 12, gold, 0, morale, 4, dim.
I think we went up morale.
2 are not enough to defend all 4 walls. Away to the keep you shout.
Alright, I think we made a good choice.
You run across the courtyard and open the large, wooden double doors, which shriek on rusty hinges.
Where's our morale points?
2 are locked. Go back to previous, show game menu, button. Go back to previous choices, show, change text size and color, button. Show achievements, boost your stats. D&D story RPG, back, D&D story, boost, show, change text, show game menu. Go back to previous choices. Life, 10, mana, 12, gold, 0, morale, 4, dim. 2 are not enough to defend all 4. You run across the courtyard and open the large, wooden double doors, which shriek on rusty hinges. Unlocked? This may be a trap, my friend. We best be on our guard, Reginald says. Once inside, Reginald slams and bars the doors. The entrance chamber is large with a high vaulted ceiling. The stone walls are cracked and flaking. The ground is strewn with loose rubble. The air is stale. Aside from the double doors behind you, there are closed wooden doors on the north, east, and west walls. Near the north door, there is a stairway going up, but it is blocked by rubble.
Alright, so here's where we sometimes have some logical choices, but then it's really hard to tell what's the best choice, but usually you have to play it pretty goody two-shoes for the most part here in the castle, but there are some moments where you can kind of stretch, but you also have to be quite careful because there are some pretty tricky parts. I do believe I got through this last time no problem.
It is not long before the front doors begin to rattle violently. Through a nearby arrow slit you can see glowing eyes and the glint of axes chopping away at the door.
That's when Reginald should be just shooting them.
You're not sure how long the barred portal will hold them. Reginald wants to hide deeper in the castle. On the other hand, this place smells of death. It might be prudent to take a few seconds to investigate the room and doors.
Yeah, let's do some investigation because items are important. Items are going to help make us stronger, so we will always try to investigate. And I'm a bit of a gold fiend, so I'm not much of a murder hobo, except on certain games. But in this case, I'm all about getting that gold, so I can be a bit greedy.
What do you do now? Let's go. Button. Search the room and doors. Button. Search the room and doors.
Let's
button.
search the room.
Search the room and doors. Life, 10. Mana, 12. Gold, 0. Morale, 4. Dim.
Okay.
You motion to Reginald to check the east door. You inspect the ground and see there has been traffic through here. Some of the tracks on the dusty floor appear to be from human-sized shoes or boots, while others appear to be from bare feet, far too large to be from men. None of the tracks appear to belong to goblins. Listening, you can't hear anything over the goblins thumping and screaming outside. You direct the light of your lantern at the northern door and are about to turn toward the eastern door when something catches your attention. Was that an eye? You wonder. You think you caught a glimpse of a glistening eyeball through a rotting hole in the northern door. Casually, as though just taking another look around, you sweep your lantern light over the door again, pausing for just an instant at that spot. Yes, that was an eye. You're being watched, and although your glimpse of it was fleeting, you could tell the eye did not belong to a human. The white of the orb is pink with blood, while the retina is pitch black and large.
Okay.
You would like to get a better look at the creature. There is a minor spell you normally use to magically open doors from a distance. You find it tedious opening doors yourself. As long as the door is unlocked, you could use this lazy wizard spell to open the eye door without being too close. On the other hand, that may frighten or anger whomever that eye belongs to. Perhaps you should just talk to it? Maybe you can join forces against the goblins? Alternatively, you might be able to hurl a bolt of fire through that eye hole. Not an easy shot, but you have the element of surprise. Finally, there's the running option, a choice that has been keeping wizards alive for thousands of years.
Well, we can use prestidigitation, or we can pop it right in the eye. I forgot if it's a ghost or monster.
What do you do?
Let's just make a weird choice.
Open the door. Mana 1. Button. Shoot the eye hole. Mana 2. Button. Talk to the creature. Button.
Let's talk to the creature, find out if we can work with it.
Talk.
Oh, we got
Reward.
an
Diplomat.
achievement.
Points. 1. Luck. 2 times 2 bonus equals 4 total. Just talking can often get you what you want. Language. Even a greater invention than fire?
All right, let's give ourselves a nice bit of reward for that. Got a nice achievement. Achievements are very good in this game and really makes it so you get more luck. And I do believe luck makes it so that RNG isn't as brutal. Of course, you can feel free to let me know in the comments what you think these resources are best used for, how you're using them in your gameplay, what you think the best choices are. Please spam the comments with all of your best advice. Also, you can give me a whole summary and synopsis of what you're doing in your game. I don't mind. Talk about whatever you want to.
Reward. Diplomat. Points. 1. Luck. 2 times 2 bonus equals 4 total. Just talking can often get you what you want. Language. Even a greater invention than fire? Reward. Diplomat. Life. 10. Mana. 12. Gold. 0. Morale. 4. Dim. Game. You muster your courage. Face the door. And raise your voice to be heard over the pounding and shouting of the goblins. We mean you no harm. We wish only to. Crack. The door explodes open. The light of your lantern streams into the doorway to reveal a huge, muscled monster stooping over. He holds a massive, spiked club in one hand and a melon-sized rock in the other. He steps into the room.
Uh-oh. That's our monster coming into visibility or sneaking up on us. Got our screaming goat. It's a cute, huh?
WC1ogre.jpg. Image.
It's an ogre.
Navel's tongue. It's an ogre. Reginald curses.
Stop cursing, Reginald.
Greetings, you say, mustering your most cheerful smile. The yonder goblins are disrespecting your property. Let us join forces against them.
Oh, we can work together with this ogre. I never knew that.
Just then, the front doors of the castle burst open. Like a tidal wave crashing on the beach, a heap of goblins falls into the room, creatures one on top of another. A chorus of glee erupts from their fanged mouths.
I love the description. It's done so well.
The ogre hurls his stone straight at you. You duck and hear a squishy thud behind you.
Oh, he's helping us?
Well, your diplomacy may not have exactly worked, but now there might be an opportunity. Time to let the ogre and goblins become acquainted without you.
Yeah, let's let them fight it out.
Continue. Button. Continue. Button. Continue. Life. 10. Mana. 12. Gold. 0. Morale. 4. Dim. Reginald and you nearly collide in your haste through the eastern portal. Once through, you slam the door closed. From the entrance chamber you just left come goblin yips of triumph, which then turn into screams of terror that are immediately drowned out by an earth-shaking snarl. Next is the sharp slapping of flesh against flesh and the wet sound of bodies ripping apart.
Yep, well, he's taking care of them.
You run from one room to the next. The ogre is not much of a housekeeper. The castle is full of giant cobwebs and broken furniture. Finally, you enter a larger room, a dining room, as evidenced by a long wooden table and 2 fireplaces. You motion to Reginald to stop, and you both listen. Faintly, you can hear the far-off sounds of battle from behind you. Can't leave that way, you think. Just then you hear something else labored breathing. Ellipsis. And is that crying?
I think that's our ghost, right?
Investigate the sound. Button. I'm out of here. Button.
Let's
Investigate the
I think
sound.
investigating the
Button.
sound does get us. Let's investigate. I think this is the ghost.
Investigate the sound. Life. 10. Mana.
Oh
12,
no, that's
gold,
our
0,
friend
morale. 5. dim.
Saiba.
Morale increases 1.
Oh cool, we got an increase in morale, which means we're doing good. I think morale is pretty much good. Whenever that goes up, it means we probably made a good choice.
For glory in the lead. You think to yourself as you take the lead. Continue. Button. For glory. Morale increases 1. Life. 10. Go back to previous choice. Life. Morale increases 1. For glory in the lead. You think to yourself as you take the lead. Continue. Button. Continue. Life. 10. Mana. 12. Gold. 0. Morale. 5. Dimmed. You quickly realize that the sound seems to be coming from this very room. You creep over to the other end of the dining hall and see a young woman sitting on the ground, chained to a fireplace, rocking back and forth and sobbing. Sibba.jpg. Image.
Alright, there's Sibba. Hi Sibba, we're gonna save Sibba. Sibba becomes part of the future story, so she's in part 2. So you definitely, I guess somewhere down the road she either, if you don't save her, I guess she got out. If you do save her, she helps you. As far as I understand, there's a lot of story arcs.
Her cries break off,
But we're
and she
gonna
looks up
save
at you
her.
with an expression of fear that quickly turns to surprise. Who? Ellipsis. Who are you? She asks. You tell her your names and that you are here to smite evil while making your fortunes. This brings a smile to her face, a pretty smile. You suspect, although it's hard to tell under all the dirt smudged on her face. She gives her name as Sibba and says there is a key to her chains on the table. Sure enough, beside cracked and dusty china is a small brass key. As you set about unlocking her, she tells you that she is a merchant's daughter who was traveling with her father's trade caravan when it was attacked by a mighty ogre with a small band of priests of an evil god wearing dark cloaks. Those of her party not killed in the initial attack were taken prisoner and chained up in this room. One by one they were taken away by the priests, never to return. They took my father, Sibba sniffs. No doubt he is slain, but I must try to find him. Will you help me?
Yep, we'll help your dad. I think her brother is alive, but I think her dad was killed. I think, well, I don't want to, spoiler alert, there's a lot of stuff you'll learn in part 2, so this is very important to get this part 1 done.
You ask her if she has any idea where her father or the others might be, but she knows little of the rest of the castle. Reginald takes you aside and says, ought we to take her to safety and then look for her father on our own? She will be in danger traveling with us. You agree that having some half-starved, unarmed merchant's daughter tripping along behind you will only get her killed. But where is safety? Last time you checked, the courtyard was crawling with goblins, and according to her, the castle residents are not very good hosts. What do? Escort her out. Button.
Now, escorting her out is probably a bad idea. I've never taken this option. I think it's probably a bad option because there's an ogre fighting a bunch of goblins, so I don't think that's a good option. One day I'll have to try it and see what happens.
Hide her and move on. Button.
We can hide her,
Send her on her way. Button.
send her on her way, which means she'll get killed.
Chain her back up for now. Button.
Chain her back up sounds like a bad option.
Chain her back up. Send her. Hide her and move on.
Let's
Button.
just hide her and come back for her later.
Hide her and move on. Life. 10. Mana. 12. Gold. 0. Morale. 6. Dim.
Oh, we actually got a morale increase. Yeah, that's the best option in my opinion.
Morale increases 1.
Let me know if you've done something different.
There are a ton of hiding places in this ruin. You find a nice pile of rubble for her to hide behind a few rooms away. You tell her to keep quiet and that you'll get back to her.
Okay, but we will come back and get you, Sibba.
Stay still and quiet here. We will return. Ellipsis. Well, if we do not return by morning, escape as best you can. You instruct her.
Yep, that's the best plan.
Clever. Reginald says as you leave her. If the wizards find Sibba missing, they will not expect her to remain in the castle. With luck, they will leave the castle altogether to find her.
Well, I don't know why people always think bad guys are so dumb. I mean, they're gonna figure out these are not complicated things. And if you don't find somebody outside of the castle, they're probably hiding in the castle, right? I like how RPGs always make it seem like the bad guys are so stupid. You know, they didn't get to where they were being stupid.
And we can explore unhindered, you say with a smile.
they're probably a lot smarter than a new adventurer, right? I think the trope of bad guys being dumb is just, ugh.
Continue. Button.
Bad guys are smart.
And we continue. Button. Continue. Button. Continue. Life 10. Mana 12. Gold 0. Morale 6. Dim. The castle is quiet and dark. You walk into a wide hallway that branches in two directions. One direction is covered in a thick layer of dust while the other is covered in footprints. You decide that it would be wise to get a lay of the land before looking for any trouble.
Yeah, let's learn this place.
Despite the faint smell of rotting flesh from the dusty hall, you decide that it would be wise to go this way first. Less monsters, more treasure, or at least you hope.
Yeah. Treasure doesn't seem to be a big part of Wizard's Choice Episode 1. I want to get more parts of this adventure where you're just looking for treasure and items. I like dungeon crawlers, but I like to get stuff, you know? Again, I like games where you can get stuff. Again, I don't know. There's a lot of Wizard episodes to go through, so we'll find out. The story mode is the story mode. I wonder if there's an open world part or just a random adventure part, because I'm actually excited down the road when they start creating more parts of this game that are more like open for us to loot and explore and get stuff and get stronger.
You have kept your lantern hooded, only allowing slivers of light out. After all, you want to remain stealthy. The way is dim, however, and you find yourself tripping over rubble and the odd piece of furniture. Ahead, there is the stench of rot, making you wonder if there might be something terrible hidden in the shadows. Too bad you can't see in the dark like a goblin. What do? Keep the lantern hooded. Button.
We should probably be stealthy.
Unhood the lantern. Button.
But then unhooding the lantern would show us dangers. So, again, the game gives you a lot of cryptic clues. It's up to you to translate them and develop your own logic. And of course, how you want to play is your choice. You know, I play the way I play. You might have better choices than me, and you might have worse choices. But, you know, I think every time I play through this game, I try to make a little bit more better a choice. More better.
Unhood the lantern. Button.
Let's go ahead and unhood the lantern.
Unhood the lantern. Life 10. Mana 12. Gold 0. Morale 7. Dim.
Oh, our morale went up, so we made a better choice.
Morale increases 1. Since you appear to be entering a vacant part of the castle, you expect your light will not attract enemy attention, and so you unhood your lantern to see your way clearly.
One day if you really want to get good at this game, make notes about whatever choices do and then just choose the very best choice. I guess you can create yourself a very linear path where you just make all the most perfect choices. And that, of course, is going to get you a much higher score. I do believe there is a leaderboard, scoreboard. I'm not 100% certain.
As you move along, the cobwebs thicken, ellipsis, and thicken, ellipsis. Spider, Reginald yelps. He points his sword up at the ceiling. There is an enormous, hairy spider suspended by a mass of yarn-thick webs. The webs are dotted with small silky cocoons you suspect might encase rats or other small prey.
Okay. Well, normally I wouldn't attack a spider, but this is an RPG, you know.
With trembling fingers, Reginald sheaths his sword and unslings his bow. He takes in a big breath as he fits an arrow, draws back the string, and fires. The spider flails its long legs for a moment and then drops out of the web onto the floor with a thud. The two of you move on, taking extra care to watch the ceiling. Continue. Button. Continue. Life 10. Mana 12. Gold 0. Morale 7. Dim. Eventually, the two of you make your way to a spiral staircase going up.
Now we're going to get into more interesting parts of the castle.
The upper regions of foul places like this are safer than the lower levels, says Reginald.
You say, Reginald, but you don't always know.
Why in Navel's tongue would that be, you say? Reginald shrugs. Do not ask me what is in the mind of fiends and evil-hearted beasts. Perhaps they prefer the darkness and stagnant air below ground? You look up the stairway and sigh. Well, perhaps we can get a view of the courtyard and the goblins from up there. Reginald leads the way up the stairs, which lead into a small tower. Moonlight filters in through two windows. This room is finely furnished and otherwise much more nicely kept than the rest of the castle you've visited so far. There is a small bed, still made, on one end, an ornate table, and a bookshelf. On the table is an open fairy tale book and a gold embossed hand mirror. Seeing loot, you forget about the windows and the potential view of the courtyard. You pick up the mirror to inspect it. Strange, says Reginald. There's no dust up here. And do you feel a draft? We are in a ruin, you say. Of course there's a draft. The glass in the windows is still intact, mutters Reginald. Gazing at your reflection in the mirror, you decide you look pretty good, all things considered. You brush cobwebs from your wavy brown hair. You smile. You're happy to see that your teeth are looking particularly good. Of course, you deserve nice teeth, since unlike most people you know, you take care of them. Every morning you wipe your teeth with a cloth dipped into a cleaning concoction consisting of vinegar, salt, a little sand, and a small measure of your own urine. You are about to pull yourself away from the mirror and put it in your backpack when you glimpse a translucent skull with thin, wispy hair just behind you in the reflection. You spin around and see not a skull, but a young girl floating a few feet in the air, her pale face fixed on you. Reginald sees her too, as evidenced by him running down the stairway. How dare you touch what is mine, the ghostly girl shouts. You back up and reflexively put the mirror back on the table. You have heard tales of powerful ghosts that can suck the life right out of you and wonder if this girl is one of those.
Well, probably.
WC1GhostGirl.jpg. Image.
There's a picture. For those of you who are visually diverse, there are images that are placed in the game that you can take a peek at to give you a little bit more flavor. And I really would like if the developer would describe with a little text each one of those JPEGs so that when you're playing it, it would describe what the picture looks like. That'd be kind of fun.
What do you do? Run for the stairs. Button. Protection from evil spell. 2 mana. Button. Apologize. Button.
It's best to talk.
Apologize. Button.
I think talking to her was the best solution I did last time.
Apologize. Life. 10. Mana. 12. Gold. 0. Morale. 7. Dim.
Morale did not go up.
Ellipsis. I apologize. My lady, you say. It is only that this is such a fine mirror, and I wish to admire it. She glares at you for a moment, and then the hard expression on her translucent face softens. I am the Duchess Inverness. My father, the Duke, gave me that as a gift. You have heard stories of Duke Inverness and the mysterious circumstances around the demise of his house. Despite your fear, you feel a pang of sadness for his daughter, who now shimmers before you, trapped in this world. And these books, why, they look like excellent air stories in here, you stammer. Read that one to me, the girl commands.
Okay. That's a reasonable request from a ghost. I would assume she's not able to manipulate physical objects.
Of course, my lady, you answer. Luckily for you, as a wizard you know how to read. You pick up the book of fairy tales from the desk and begin on the first page. She stops you and demands that you read her the story about the unicorn. With trembling hands, you page through the book. Eventually, you find this story and begin reading. The ghost floats up behind you as though to peer down at the pictures. You feel a slight chill on your shoulder. Some time later, you look up from her book and see Reginald peeking around the corner of the stairway at you. You shake your head slightly at him and then return your attention to the book. In the story, the unicorn taps her hoof against a wall in a castle, and a secret passage opens up. As you read this, the little ghost girl smiles and says, "There is a secret passage in this castle as well. It is a foul place, a place where people are taken never to return."
Yeah, we'll have to deal with that.
Where is the secret passage you speak of? You ask. In my father's library, there is a statue. Push the arm of the statue down, she explains.
Okay.
You are intrigued by this and wish to ask her more, but she points at the book impatiently, and so you get back to it. Upon finishing the story, the girl demands you read her another. You wonder how long she might keep this up. Time means nothing to her, after all. You would like to get back to Reginald. And what about Siba's father? Rescuing a merchant might mean a fine reward. And there's Siba herself, of course. You would like to find her before something else does.
Well, I did this before, so we can give her another story, nothing will happen. Or we can try to leave this time and see what happens. Hopefully she doesn't get impatient.
What do you do? Read another story, button. Attempt to excuse yourself, button. Run for the stairs, button.
Running seems very cowardly, so let's
attempt to excuse yourself,
let's
button.
excuse ourselves, see if this works.
Attempt to excuse yourself. Life, 10, mana, 12, gold, 50, morale, 7, dim.
No, morale didn't go up.
Gold increases 50.
Ooh, our gold went up. That's our money spent or money gained.
Beautiful and gracious Duchess, might I ask your full name? You ask. Gabriella, Duchess Gabriella of Inverness, she answers. My lady, you bow. I beg your pardon, but there is a young woman in the castle below who requires my assistance. There are evil men. I suspect they threaten her life. A maiden in distress? Why do you dally here then? Be gone.
Cool. I didn't know she would give us a better choice.
You need no further encouragement. You step lightly toward the door. Wait. Her voice chills you, but you unwillingly turn back. Take this, she says, and the gold-trimmed mirror floats off of the table over to you.
Okay.
I cannot see myself in it anymore, she says softly. Generosity befitting a duchess. I thank you most humbly. You bow low and then leave. You find
Nice.
Reginald around the corner of the stairs, his sword at the ready.
Nice treasure.
He begins asking you questions, but you put up your hand. Another time, you say. Continue, button.
Okay, we did good. That was a good decision-making area.
Continue.
We did really good.
Life, 10, mana,
think we got
12,
a
gold,
level
50,
up.
morale, 7, dim. Checkpoint reached. Good
Okay,
job.
we got a checkpoint. Cool. Good job. That's going to be our sound for checkpoints. That's good. Which means we can always come back here and play it from this point. I think at this point, because I want to get through this, I'm not going to try to be hardcore. If we fail, we're just going to go back to previous checkpoints. I'm not going to make us restart the entire game all over again. Because I think sometimes there is some gotcha. I mean, there's so many games I want to play. So I'm not going to force us to go through the whole game over and over again. I'd get a little bored of that. And I'm sure you would too. So what we will do is attempt to get from checkpoint to checkpoint. And if we have to start from the checkpoint, we will. If it seems like we still can't get through, then maybe we've made so many bad choices that maybe we should start all over again. But we'll see what happens.
The two of you continue through the castle. Occasionally, you hear distant things, a shout, a crash, even voices. Soon you come to a door with light streaming out through its cracks. You open the door ever so slightly and peek in. You see a cloaked man frantically pacing back and forth, a torch in his hand. His cloak is open, revealing a muscled frame, inked with tattoos. You think you make out at least one of the tattoos to be the symbol of Neril, god of the undead. This reminds you of the tattooed body of a man hung in the city square only a month ago. He was believed to be an evil priest of Neril and was accused of terrible crimes, including raising zombies. Focusing on the rest of the room, your fear is quickly confirmed. There is a large stone symbol of Neril built into the wall. The stonework appears to be of new construction. In addition, there is a luxurious curtain adorning the wall as well as a number of Spartan beds.
Yep, this is going to be a fight, I have a feeling.
WC1 cultist.jpg. Image.
Cultists are a pain.
Priests of Neril are not fools and are able to harvest power from their deity to cast dangerous spells. However, you have the element of surprise and there's only one of them.
I also want to play the cultist in Future Arena. There is a cultist class. Can't wait to try that.
Attack with spells. Mana 2. Button.
I think it's time to attack.
Attack without spells. Button. Cast a charm spell on him. Button.
Ooh, I've never tried to charm him before.
Spy for a bit. Button. Spy for a bit. Button.
We could spy, see what's going on. Are we really good at spying? Let's find out what he's doing. How's that?
Spy for a bit. Life, 10. Mana, 12. Gold, 50. Morale, 8. Dim.
Oh, our morale went up.
Morale increases 1. Where is she? How could she escape? The man mutters to himself. The sacrifice. Ellipsis. Must appease him. He whispers. Sacrifice. You think. No doubt he is referring to human sacrifice, Neril's favorite sword. What? My mistress, he whispers, tilting his head. You didn't hear anyone else. He must be talking to himself again. A moment later, the priest starts walking toward the door you have cracked open. Quickly, you move away, out of sight, and listen for a few seconds. You hear nothing, not even footsteps.
Okay.
What do you do?
So now we're going to have to deal with him a little bit closer.
Attack with spells. Mana 2. Button.
We still can attack him.
Attack without spells. Button.
We can attack without spells, which we're terrible at.
Wait. Button.
We can wait for him to walk out and then ambush him.
Wait. Button.
Let's wait for him to come out. I don't know. Maybe he heard us. So being a little overcautious can cost you. I've never waited before, so let's see what happens. Let's wait and see what happens.
Wait. Life, 8. Mana, 12. Gold, 50. Morale, 8. Dim.
Morale did not go up.
Life decreases 2.
Oh, we took some... we waited too long. Life -2.
You decide to wait a few more seconds. After all, the last time you saw him, he was heading toward this door. What a great ambush.
Yeah, we had an ambush plan, but obviously he heard us.
Suddenly, the door opens and the man is there, his finger pointed toward you. There is a crackle, and a black bolt of energy slices into you.
Great.
Evidently, he saw you, after all.
I mean, it's his house. He's gonna... You know the sounds in your house. You know, you can hear presences.
Reginald charges in. The priest ducks back as Reginald swings his sword, but not fast enough. The blade slashes his shoulder. He tries to run, chanting something, likely a prayer to his foul god. He never finishes it. Reginald cuts him down with one great cleave.
That's cool. At least Reginald took care of business. I'm trying to hold on to as much mana as possible. I've learned that that's important.
Continue. Button. Continue. Life, 8. Mana, 12. Gold, 50. Morale, 8. Dim. Now that you are in the room, you can see that you're in living quarters. There are simple beds along the wall and a good-sized chest in the corner.
Ooh, let's go get that chest open, yo.
Treasure you think as you run over and try to lift the lid. Lock.
It's probably... I forgot what's in this treasure chest.
That Nerulian priest did not die quietly, so perhaps you should have Reginald smash the lid with his sword and then get out of here. On the other hand, there ought to be a key around somewhere. Maybe you should take a few seconds to check.
Let's check the body of the person we just killed. He's got the key.
What do you do? Break the chest. Button. Search around a bit. Button. Search around a bit.
Searching
Button.
around is always a good choice.
Search around a bit. Life, 8. Mana, 12. Gold, 90. Morale, 8. Dim.
Was that morale?
Go back to life, 8. Mana, 12. Gold, 90. Morale, 8. Dim.
No, morale's
Game
still the
stats.
same.
Gold increases 40.
Whoa, we did get some gold. Wait.
Life, 8. Go back to previous go back to previous. Life, 8. Mana, 12. Gold, 90. Morale, 8. Dim.
We did get some gold.
Game stats. Gold increases 40. You stand guard while I search. You say to Reginald. You kick the body of the priest over. The corpse is a bloody mess, but you don't have time to be dainty about it. The man is nude other than the cloak and a golden amulet around his neck. The amulet is an unholy symbol of Meryl,
Why is
the
he
god
nude?
of the undead. You would never keep such an evil thing,
Why
but
didn't
it's
he have
coated in
any
gold,
clothes
so you
on?
could have it melted down. You rummage through his sticky cloak. Sure enough, you find a key.
He had a key in his cloak, but he's naked? Why would we... I don't want to know.
You trot over to the chest, key in hand. The key has the same hue of metal as the lock, and you are optimistic that it will fit. You are fumbling with the key when you hear something off in the distance, and a chill goes down your spine. Are more coming? Did they hear the priest cry out? Normally, you are cautious with chests, having heard that they are sometimes trapped. However, searching the chest for traps will take time and you're not particularly skilled in trap detection.
Sure, I am not.
What do you do? Search the chest for traps. Button.
But we should be careful.
Use the key now. Button. Use the key now. Button. Search the chest for traps. Button.
Just for fun, let's search the chest for traps.
Search the chest for traps. Life, 8. Mana, 12. Gold, 170. Morale, 8. Dim.
Oh, maybe we did something better.
Gold increases 80.
Ooh. Nice.
You take the time to look over the chest carefully. There are no obvious traps. You carefully insert the key into the lock. It's a fit. You close your eyes as you turn the key. The top of the chest pops open as though on a spring and ellipsis.
I'm getting money.
Nothing happens. You exhale in relief. Inside is a bag full of gold pieces, some platinum engraved china, and a small, black-bound writing book.
Nice.
Then there is a low rumble of footsteps, and you look up just as two priests burst into the room.
Okay. Enter enemies. Right on time.
Continue. Button. Continue. Life, 7. Mana, 12. Gold, 170. Morale, 8. Dim.
Okay.
Life decreases 1.
Uh-oh. Taking a little life loss here and there.
Unholy one, give me strength. One of the priests shouts. With these words, a dark shade appears around his hand and then shoots out, striking Reginald, who flies back against the wall. The other priest grins at you. A dark ray springs from his outstretched finger, striking you in the shoulder. Cold pain spreads through you.
Ice bolt.
You dive behind the curtain, hoping to at least obscure their ability to target you with spells. What do you do?
Alright, now it's time to fight. Let's get going here.
Charm 1, Mana 3, button.
Charm.
Firebolt, Mana 2, button.
Get into a firefight. I think charm.
Charm, Firebolt, Mana 2, button.
2 mana for that.
Charm 1, Mana 3, button.
3 mana for charm.
Firebolt, Mana 2, distract with an illusion, Mana 3, button.
Illusion 3.
Attack with dagger, button.
No daggers.
Attack with dagger,
I did
button.
that before. That's a disaster.
Distract, Firebolt, Mana 2, button.
We can charm him and have him firebolt the other one. That's one way to do it.
Distract with an illusion, Firebolt, Mana 2, button.
Distraction's not going to work. They're wizards. They should recognize that little kind of move.
Charm, Firebolt, Mana 2,
Let's just get
button.
into a firebolt fight. Hopefully we can pop it off.
Firebolt, Mana 2, Life, 7, Mana, 10, Gold, 230, Morale, 8, Dim.
Alright, hopefully we can fight. We are a wizard.
Mana decreases 2,
Okay, we lost a little mana. That's fine.
Gold increases 60.
Ooh.
You pop your head and outstretched hand out from behind the curtain and send out a bolt of flame into the first evil priest. He flails and screams as he runs into the wall and then falls. Meanwhile,
Cool.
Reginald has made quick work of the other priest with his long sword.
Very good, Reginald. We're doing it. We're working together well.
You take the time to search the bodies and find golden unholy symbol medallions on each of them, as well as one
Sweet.
fine silver dagger. Not bad for 20 seconds of work.
I wish they would let us have all these. I know we're playing a story and we're making choices, but how hard would it be for us to actually get the items that we're looting off of people and to equip them? I mean, can we just have a real RPG? I mean, can we get the items that we're looting? Because they're so pretty. They sound so amazing.
I tire of looting corpses. Let us be off to rescue the merchants and receive a glorious reward, you exclaim.
I never get tired of looting corpses. This is not me speaking.
Continue. Button. Continue. Life, 7. Mana, 10. Gold, 230. Morale, 8. Dimmed. Off you go, deeper into the castle. Soon you find yourself in a library. However, all the books are gone from the tall wooden shelves, either stolen or destroyed. As a wizard, this is disappointing to you. All castle libraries have secret doors.
Okay,
You
this
announce.
is a secret door room.
After searching for a little while, you notice a small statue of a winged boy reading a book worked into the stone wall. You press on the statue's arm, and it shifts down. There is a grinding sound, and you see the bookshelf nearby crack open from the wall. You wedge your fingers into the gap and pry open the door. Immediately before you are stairs descending into the darkness.
Yeah, now we're going to go down to the hard room where it gets really kind of hinky down there.
Dear reader, normally I would give you a choice of whether or not you go down the stairs. But really, who finds a secret door and chooses star not star to investigate?
I don't think there's anybody who doesn't investigate a room. So fourth wall break. Fourth wall break.
And so, with lantern in hand, you descend a few steps and then listen. It's deadly quiet down here, and chilly. You urge Reginald to take the lead. After all, he's wearing the armor. There is a small metal lever on the inside of the passage that you suppose is what you use to open the door from the inside. Nevertheless, you decide to leave the door open. The last thing you need is to get trapped in this evil-smelling place. It is some time before you finally reach a small, empty chamber. On the far wall is a large iron door. Scrawled over the door in rusty red dye, or, more likely, dried blood, is a set of elaborate symbols.
Okay.
Gods, what is that? Says Reginald, playing the lantern light over the symbols. It is writing in the infernal tongue, you say. A language of devils, demons, and other beasts that inhabit the nightmare universes. At times, I do not envy your knowledge, says Reginald with a faint shudder.
No, it's not that scary, Reginald. They're just creatures. They're just angels that have a different job description. I know. They, trying to scare you is what they use because you humans are easy to scare. But if you're like me and you're a master of the dark arts, we're not scared of any demons. We're just scared about getting killed because we walk into something, but we understand it's just their abilities.
The study of magic leads to many dark places, you say. The trick is to not wander too far into the void.
Yeah, you don't want to go too far and get sucked in,
What does it say? Asks Reginald in a tone that is not at all enthusiastic or curious. You study the symbols. They are crudely drawn, as though in haste, perhaps scrawled by bloody fingers. I cannot be sure. I believe it is a ward of some sort, a protection spell.
Yeah, and I think we wind up removing that because, well, we'll find out what happens. I forgot what we did last time.
A protective spell using such a foul language? Reginald sniffs. I would expect a curse or a fiendish summoning. It is protection against such a summoning, a barrier, you say. Evil knows evil best, and a spellcaster of black magic understands the need to protect himself from the terrors they bring into this world. Reginald grimaces and points the tip of his sword at the warded door. Only a fool would go down there, although I am more a man of curiosity than wisdom. You slap his shoulder, making a dull sound against his breastplate, as you have proven time and again. What do you want to do?
Alright, here we go.
Open the door. Button. Leave. Button. Leave.
Yeah,
Button.
we're gonna open the door.
Open the door. Button.
Open the door, of course.
Open the door. Life, 7. Mana, 10. Gold, 230. Morale, 8. Dim.
Okay.
Maybe there's a treasure room Life, 7. Mana, 10. Maybe there's a treasure room beyond. You joke. Fortune and glory, my friend, Reginald says with a broad smile. The large iron door shudders and screeches as Reginald slowly pries it open. Once open, your friend's face drops, and you soon realize why. A powerful stench wafts up from the dark stairs below. He takes a deep breath and plunges down the stairway. Continue. Button. Continue. Life, 7. Mana, 10. Gold, 230. Morale, 8. Dim. The two of you descend for some time before you enter into a large room eerily illuminated by green flaming torches fastened to each of the walls. Near the far wall is a dais leading up to an altar with skulls inlaid into the frame, some human, others of animals or perhaps monsters. The lower altar is blood-stained and covered with candles and golden candle holders arranged around a book. The book is bound in what might very well be mummified human skin with hand and finger bones embedded into the cover as though the book were in the grasp of the dead. The title is in Infernal, but you don't recognize the words. Beyond the book is a raised part of the altar, white stone, seemingly scoured clean of blood stains. This surface has more candles, a golden cup, and a large golden bowl filled with some dark liquid, maybe blood.
Okay.
Just before the altar is a narrow but deep pit. Shining the lantern in, you make out something gleaming white. Ellipsis. A skeletal arm and hand. Reginald adds his light to yours and you can now see a heap of bodies, at various stages of decay. The heap is crawling with rats and other vile scavengers.
That's why you don't kill the spiders, because they eat all these guys.
Sacrifices. The source of the stench. You mutter. I would bet my last copper that Siba's father and the rest of the caravan are among them. Reginald makes a face of disgust. I say we swiftly pilfer what we can from this unholy place and leave.
No, first we're gonna get justice for Siba's family.
As he says this, the bowl on the upper altar begins to tremble as the candlelight around it ripples. Something is coming, you whisper. It is already here, says Reginald. Black smoke billows up from the bowl and swiftly takes the shadowy form of a horned fiend. His glowing, pitiless eyes rove about the chamber, taking in everything. Demon.jpg. Image.
There's our demon.
Demon, you shout. Despite the terrified look on his face, Reginald has already unslung his backpack as though preparing to scoop valuables from the altar. He might have the right idea. After all, you came here for loot and it might take a moment for this shadow beast to fully take form. That strange book might be valuable. Finally, maybe you can disrupt this fiend's arrival by knocking over the bowl? But do you dare? After all, this monster hasn't acknowledged you yet and messing about with his bowl is likely a dangerous way to introduce yourself.
I don't care what he thinks. We might just have to take a shot here.
What do you do? Grab the book and run. Button. Try to disrupt the fiend's arrival. Button. No time for any of this. Run. No time. Try to disrupt the fiend's arrival.
Let's
Button.
disrupt his arrival. It's not gonna work, but oh well.
Try to disrupt the fiend's arrival. Life, 7. Mana, 10. Gold, 230. Morale, 8. Dim.
Oh, no improvement in morale.
The bowl is on the upper table of the altar, presently out of reach. You could jump up on the lower table, grab the bowl, and throw it across the room or down into the sacrificial pit. Another option would be to try to just quickly knock over the bowl by throwing your backpack at it. You should be able to retrieve your backpack easily if you disrupt the summoning.
Okay. I think we did this last time. I think it was successful.
What do? Grab the bowl and throw it. Button. Throw your backpack at it. Button. Throw your backpack at. Grab the bowl and throw it. Button.
Every time we try to do something physically, we fail.
Throw your backpack at it. Button.
Fine, we'll throw our backpack at it.
Throw your backpack at it. Life, 7. Mana, 10. Gold, 330. Morale, 10. Dim.
Ooh, our morale went up by, I think, 2 points.
Gold increases 100.
Ooh, and our gold went up.
Morale increases 2.
I'm eating a tiny apple.
When it comes to throwing things, you've never been a particularly good shot, at least not compared to Reginald. Growing up, he'd always beat you in games of dexterity and aim. Still, you can hardly miss this bowl at such a short range using such a large projectile. You throw your backpack. The pack hits the bowl, knocking it up and over, crashing against the back of the altar with a dull clang of soft metal. Your pack mostly struck the table lip of the upper altar and so falls down onto the lower table, scattering candles. A hissing scream of rage echoes off the walls as the shadow fiend loses shape. However, the shadows do not disappear as you had hoped. Rather, they retreat up high, near the ceiling of the chamber, swirling like a dust devil. The torches dim and flicker as though their greenish light is being sucked in by the beast's malevolent rage.
Well, we're disrupting this demonic enclave, but can we complete the job?
Not vanquished, but perhaps diminished, you think. Meanwhile, Reginald is hard at work, blowing out candles and throwing the golden candlesticks into his backpack. Without a better idea, you join him in looting. First, you leap up onto the lower altar and grab your backpack. As a wizard, the most interesting thing you've seen on this altar is the human skin-bound book. You grab that first and throw it into your pack. You then stuff away a golden goblet and are reaching for the overturned golden bowl at the back of the altar when you hear a horrid hiss, loud and close. Continue. Button. Continue. Life, 5. Mana, 10. Gold, 330. Morale, 10. Dim.
Got a little more money.
Life decreases 2.
Oh.
You look up in time to see the demon, now mostly reformed, streaking down at you, his bottomless eyes burning with rage. You leap back, but not fast enough. One of his shadowy claws swipes into you. Pain lances through your body. You stagger as you turn and begin to run, slinging your backpack over your shoulder. Reginald is a few steps ahead of you.
We gotta run now, dude.
Your souls are mine, comes the hissing voice. Now your strength returns and you are bolting up the stairs, leaping 3 steps at a time. There is a wheezing snarl not far behind. You make it through the large iron door. The door is heavy, and the hinges are tight. Nevertheless, you expect that if you hurl your weight against it, you can knock it shut. But this will take time and the demon is nearly upon you.
Well, I do believe last time I tried to close it and we weren't successful. Should we just keep running?
What do? Try to close it. Button. No time. Just run. Button.
Running is good. Closing it, can a demon just go through a wall? I mean, I say we just run, because staying behind is just gonna be a disaster. Let's just be smart and run.
Try to. No time. Just run. Button.
Let's try this.
No time. Just run. Life, 4. Mana, 10. Gold, 330. Morale, 10. Dim.
Don't know if we got anything.
Life decreases 1.
We failed again.
You decide there's no time for anything but running. Freedom, comes a raspy shout followed by laughter. You turn on the speed for the next stairway and have nearly caught up to Reginald at the top when you feel a sudden, overpowering chill. Let me in, hisses a voice in your head. You resist, and it is like your soul is being ripped apart.
Man, we should have just pushed him back in.
Despite your pain, you keep going, following Reginald out of the secret door, out of the library, and down several passageways. Rounding a corner, you are suddenly in a large and lavishly furnished room filled with the soft light of dozens of candles. In the middle are 3 of the evil priests holding hands and surrounding what appears to be a pile of corpses. The men are chanting in the infernal language. One of the corpses begins to twitch.
Oh, great. The House of Horrors continues. Let's go ahead and deal with this little issue here, and then we're going to get Sibba and get out of here.
Just to the side of the priest stands... What do you do? Just to the side of the priest stands the massive ogre. His pale white body and large cold dark eyes fix on Reginald. Meanwhile, the corpse that had been twitching springs up to its feet with alarming speed. You think you recognize him as one of the priests you killed earlier. The undead creature levels its hungry gaze upon you.
So I think this is where last time we charmed the ogre, it worked out really well.
What do you do? Attack with your dagger. Button. Blast them mana 4. Button.
The first time I played this game, I attacked with my dagger. That was a disaster.
Charm the ogre. Mana 3. Run away. Button.
Let's
charm
the ogre.
Mana 3. Button.
Charm is one of our more powerful things. It's going to cost us more mana, but it's very effective. We're going to see. I don't know if there's a basis of how successful it is. I do believe luck plays a part in it. So let's charm the ogre and let it start crunching things.
Blast them. Charm the ogre. Mana 3. Run away. Button. Charm the ogre. Blast them. Mana 4. Button.
We can blast them all with mana 4, but then we'll have to deal with the ogre. It's hard choices. And I know that Reginald can handle a few people in cloth. I think the best bet is to... last time I charmed the ogre, I've never used a mana. I mean, I've never blasted them. I wonder if blasting them is the best bet. And then the ogre will just start punching us like really bad. Let's charm the ogre.
Charm the ogre. Mana 3. Button.
Let's do that.
Charm the ogre. Mana 3. Life. 4. Mana. 7. Gold. 330. Morale. 14. Dim.
Ooh, morale went up. Nice. Morale went up. That was a good decision. Morale went up by 4.
Mana decreases 3.
Mana went down. No problem. Mana went down. Let's use this. Yeah, sounds fine.
Morale increases 4. You point to the ogre and recite magical words, pausing now and then to blow kisses into the air. The ogre, who was about to swing his mighty club at Reginald, instead turns his attention to you. You are not entirely sure, but you think you see the soft glow of ogre affection in those large, dark orbs.
Well, calm down, big boy. Keep your hands to yourself. You know, what reminds me of that song? I hear no honky tonk singing, keep your hands to yourself. That song. Oh, God, I love that song. It's a country song. I can't remember who does the artist of it, but it's a really funny song.
One of the priests throws a large candle at you and then begins reciting a spell. When the poorly aimed and weakly thrown candle misses you, the ogre slams the priest in the face with his club, smashing it like a melon.
Nice job.
Yes, you shout to the ogre. Kill them all.
Yeah, kill them.
The undead corpse springs at you, but the ogre grabs it by the leg in midair, and it crashes to the floor. The ogre and the zombie then grapple each other, clawing, biting, and strangling.
I don't see how a zombie is any match for an ogre.
Reginald has since gathered his wits and slays another of the priests with his sword. The two of you fall upon the remaining priest the old medieval way, cutting and stabbing with blades. Soon that poor fool is nothing more than a bloody mess on the floor.
Good job.
You look over and see that the ogre has dismembered the now motionless undead priest, but in the process, however, it has been grievously wounded. Its neck has been ripped open and purplish blood is pumping out. It looks at you pleadingly before collapsing.
Yep, that's it for the ogre. Sorry, dude. You were some big time help, man.
Continue. Button. Continue. Life. 4. Mana. 7. Gold. 330. Morale. 14.
I don't
Dim.
think I've ever been this successful. Looks like playing through this is better the second or third time through. I'm making much better decisions.
As you and Reginald catch your breath, from somewhere in the castle echoes the distinct raspy cackle of that dark spirit with the hellish eyes.
Yeah,
a chill goes
now
up
we're
your
gonna
spine.
do this
You do
thing.
not want to tangle with that thing again. You suspect neither your spells nor blades can harm it. Perhaps it would be wise to run from this cursed place. On the other hand, maybe you could afford to take a few seconds to search the bodies of your recently fallen enemies? But there is
Yeah.
still the matter of the merchant's daughter, Siva.
Well, we can get the loot and we can still go get Sibba.
What do you do? Search the bodies. Button. Find Siba first. Button.
Well,
Search the bodies. Button.
let's get those bodies first.
Search the bodies. Life, 4. Mana, 7. Gold, 440. Morale, 14. Dim. Go back. Life, 4. Mana, 7. Gold, 440. Morale, 14.
gold.
Dim. Game
I think we got
stats.
some gold.
Gold increases 110. It was hard and dangerous work killing those villains, and now it's time to profit. There's plenty of time for maiden rescuing and running later, you hope.
Alright, now let's go get Siba.
Although you allow yourself only a little time for corpse searching, you find 3 golden unholy symbols and several pouches of gold.
Sweet.
Just then you hear a blood-curdling scream not far away. Before you can react, you see Siba, her eyes bloodshot, run into the candlelight.
Alright, Siba's running. Okay, let's go get Siba.
Gods, we must flee. A monster comes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Continue. Button.
Let's get Siba, let's go.
Continue. Life, 4. Mana, 7. Gold, 440. Morale, 14. Dim. The 3 of you run.
Yeah, now it's time to get out of here.
The ears you complain as you run through the castle entrance chamber. You are referring to the goblin corpses from which you could harvest trophies.
Nah, I'm not into these goblin corpses.
No number of rubbery ears are worth your soul, Reginald exclaims. Despite your present anxiety, this strikes you as somewhat funny, and you plan to remind him of his words later, if you survive. For now, you do as your friend advises and keep running. The 3 of you retreat to the forest. You are all exhausted, and so once safely away from that cursed ruin and reasonably certain no evil follows, you make camp. Because you are still in goblin country, you decide against the campfire. Instead, you will have to just make do with the sleeping roll in your backpack.
Cool.
It is a rather cold night, and you notice Siba carries nothing but the ripped up clothing on her back. What do you do? Offer to share a blanket. Button. Offer her your blanket. Button. Shrug and go to sleep. Button. Offer to share a blanket.
We'll
Button.
share a blanket, cause you know.
Off.
Ooh.
Reward. You cat. Points. 0. Luck.
You
1 times 2 bonus
cat.
equals 2 total. Naughty. Naughty.
Naughty, naughty. Hey, mommy. Well, you know, I gotta do everything, you know. I like a little hint, a little PG-13. So we got a little, you know what I'm saying?
Reward. You cat. Points. 0. Luck. 1 times 2 bonus equals 2 total. Naughty. Naughty.
Cool. Cool.
Life.
Got a
9.
little-
Mana. 12. Gold. 440. Morale. 13. Dim.
Oh, our morale
Game
went
stats.
down a little bit. Oh, no. Our morale went down a little bit for us being a little mischievous.
Mana increases 5.
But our mana went up, so that's good. Getting our mana up is good. And we're going to use... what is mana going up going to be? No. Let's see. There we go. No, you know what? Let's go with... maybe that could be the completion of the sections. When mana goes up, let's use this. Or just our good old-fashioned ding.
Life increases 5. Morale decreases 1.
Morale went down.
You cat. I'm tempted to give you a morale point for your bold choice, but unfortunately, this scene does not play out that way.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever, dude. I am a clod.
You invite Siba to share your blanket with you. She cocks her head, gives you a suspicious look, and politely declines. Reginald offers his own blanket. She smiles at him, takes the blanket with a curtsy, and goes off to find a tree to curl up around.
Whatever. If we were gonna be a pervert, we would have been a pervert a long time ago. We did save you. I'm not asking for anything, but no need to think we're a pervert.
It would have been warmer still with me, you think to yourself. Alice, not everyone can be as practical as you are. Since Reginald is cold anyway, he decides to take the first watch. You're awoken well before dawn, and you loan him your blanket as you sit up to keep an eye out for danger.
Okay.
As you settle into your watch, your eyes wander to the sleeping merchant's daughter. A sliver of moonlight has escaped through the branches above and illuminates her delicate nose. You decide that it's a pretty little nose. For whatever reason, this leads you to wonder if even your pinky would fit into one of her tiny nostrils. You chuckle to yourself as you imagine the expression on her face at waking with your finger in her nose. And then you feel a pang of guilt for imagining this.
I wouldn't put my finger in her nose.
The young maiden has just lost her father. I should not make sport of her. Ellipsis. Even in my mind, you think.
Oh, whatever.
It's obvious that you need something to occupy your thoughts in order to stay awake. Continue. Button. Continue. Life. 9. Mana. 12. Gold. 440. Morale. 13. Dim.
Our morale went down again? What the? What did we do this time?
Checkpoint reached. Good job.
All right. Oh, checkpoint reached. We're going to use this music. There we go. That's our checkpoint reached. And also, and I think our morale went down. So let's go with this for being a pig, whatever we did wrong. I guess in any RPG, if you're a normal person, normal male or female, whatever your proclivity is, whenever you are just normal, you get penalized because they hold you to this really weird, like stereotyping, like trope of you're just holier than thou and you're never attracted to anyone that you're attracted to. You never want anything. You never desire anything. You're just a stone statue with no desires and no wants and no needs. I've always found RPG tropes to be incredibly ridiculous. I think they're very much like how you look at things in religion, like the Bible, and you look at the different religious beliefs. They're very stereotyped and troped, that good people do good things, bad people do bad things, but we all know that there's a little good and bad in everyone. So, but again, that's just my little soapbox, and I stand by it. I think if it really matters, it's important. But if it's a game, we should be able to do what we want to do. It doesn't make you a bad person because you do something bad in a game. You're just playing a game. And yes, I do believe age levels for games are important because younger minds can be influenced by media. So, but in this day and age, let me tell you something. The average kid is exposed to much more than you or I were ever exposed to as a kid. And if you are young, then you know that you have an opportunity to see everything. When I was young, we were so sheltered from bad things that when something bad did happen, we were shocked. So maybe it's different now because kids these days are not shocked by very much. And maybe that is part of the problem, or maybe that's just a natural evolution for humans. I mean, obviously, folks, human beings are evolving. And I mean, think about it. 1,000 years from now, what will a child be party to or know? What would they acknowledge? What will they understand? It's not going to be the same things that your kids right now will understand or you understand. They're going to know all our wars, all our histories, the good, the bad. They're going to have technology you can't even dream of. They're going to have knowledge that you can't even think about and envision. So I look at it this way, it's great that we try to make sure our kids do the right thing because that's important. Get them help if they need help. Take care of them. Make sure they get education and opportunities and make sure. But also, they also have to take some risks. They also have to be out there on their own. They got to get out there and do their own things sometimes, I think parents right now, over-sheltering a kid is probably worse than if you let them make a few mistakes. My parents let me learn how to ride a bike. I broke a lot of things on myself. My parents let me do things that I do. And I love that I got to make my own decisions. Yeah, it's good to tell your kids, hey, don't jump off garages, especially if you have bad eyes, it might hurt them. Yeah, don't get into, martial arts if you're going to get punched in the face a lot, if you have bad eyes, or if you have another issue, disability, avoid things that could eradicate that situation. There's logical things to do and not do. But in my opinion, it's better for people growing and learning to make mistakes, to do things and make decisions on their own. Because that's how they grow. That's how they get knowledge. That's how they discover things, That's just my opinion.
Live. Checkpoint reached. Good job.
All right, we got a checkpoint.
You wait until Reginald begins snoring before you pull your spellbook
All right,
out of
so
your
we
backpack.
will-
Reginald hates it when you study magic while you are supposed to be keeping watch, but you need something to distract you from the cold. With flint and tinder you light a single candle to read by. The arcane text that you have read 1,000 times over, but differently each pass through, provides a sort of familiar comfort. A comfort you are grateful for in this dark forest. Soon you are lost in study. After some time, you can never keep track of time when immersed in magical lore. You exclaim, yes.
Okay, I want to make sure I wasn't talking over the very cool script, because this is the whole point of the game, the story. What I say is just commentary, but and a lot of tangential stuff. But I really love what we're going to do now. Now we're going to, if we do fail, we will go back to our checkpoints, because I feel like we've done so many positive choices in this game that it's not going to hurt us to go back to our last positive position. So yeah, from now on, as long as I feel there isn't anything we've missed, we will always, if we die, go back to the previous checkpoint. Now it looks like it tracks your deaths. So if we are dying a lot, maybe we're doing something wrong. Maybe we've got to think about mana, we've got to think about conserving health. So there will be some choices that are best made with resources maintained a certain way. So, but I really like that idea. So let me find out what time it is, because we might have to continue this. I'm feeling like I need something a little bit more solid in my stomach. I've only had an apple and a banana and a cup of coffee, and I feel like I'm starting to get a little hungry. I would take a break, but I feel like we've been recording for a minute. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 10:48 a.m.
Yeah, we're almost at the time the reminder was gonna go off. Alexa, delete my reminder.
Wrap up your video today at 11 a.m. Cancel.
All right, good. Now our reminder's been deleted, so we're good. Yeah, I think we're gonna stop here. This is a perfect place to stop. We'll come back at this point. Thank you, MyNoise, BBA. Excuse me, MyNoise, just regular MyNoise. You find them in my description. I'm really loving Wizard's Choice, and I love it that you can come back and play again and make better choices. And I love my little noise makers. They're really fun. Just turned off my Screaming Goat. I don't think I can turn off my other one. My other one does it have an on and off switch? I don't feel it does. No, it doesn't. Anyway, having a lot of fun with this game. We'll come back again. I think today I was supposed to play the zombie for Future Arena, so I'll either do that later today or I'll do that tomorrow. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to have time today. Today I'm going over to Marissa's for lunch. We're going to have some leftovers. And I do believe I will probably update my computer because it needs to be updated. This is just a computer I'm borrowing. And no, I don't have a computer yet for myself. We're going to be doing some fundraising. And I do have a person who is willing to fundraise. I will have to pay them a little bit of money, but it won't be very much. And they're going to design some fundraising materials. We're going to do some really cute stuff. We're going to have some special stuff that I'm going to do during the fundraiser. And if you want to see me do some incredible tomfoolery and make a fool out of myself and probably do a bunch of weird stuff, I'm going to be giving you guys some details. But yeah, we're going to have a very awesome fundraiser. I'm looking at August, and then maybe we'll do one once a month. It'll be a very long stream, so we're going to have a good time. I'm also going to be doing a D&D coming up in September. It's a dungeon crawler D&D series, my Showdown. If those of you who had the opportunity to watch me do Showdown, it'll be very similar to that, but it's going to be private. I'm not going to be recording it. It's just really hard to get good audio quality on Zoom. Now, when I get everybody in person, I will do a recording that way. I think that'll be a lot better. But for now, we're not going to do any more audio recordings of D&D on YouTube, not until maybe down the road. So that's coming up for us in September. August, we're going to do some fundraising. And let's see, what else do we have going on my son's birthday was yesterday. I'm gonna wish him a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Joe. I gotta remember to send him a happy birthday. And my granddaughter Zena's birthday just passed. She's just turned 1 year old. And so yeah, it's really, really cool. But thank you, everybody. We're gonna pause right here. Appreciated all of you. Thank you for spamming the comments, and thank you for encouraging me to go back to record part 1 of A Wizard's Choice. It's really awesome. I'm having a great time. Thank you very much, and I will try to get the zombies started tomorrow, probably, because I'm excited to know what the zombie does in Future Arena. What else are we doing this week? Zombie tomorrow, maybe. Friday, I think Friday we will do some more Ensign, and I think we'll do Lost Air maybe Saturday, and then we'll just keep rotating around all the playlists and get everything going. I'm having a lot of fun with the Ensign. It's really an interesting game. So we have a lot of games to play, a ton of games to play. And of course, I've got to get back onto game. I've got to get that first listen for Lost Air up. That will go up on Monday for sure. And Marissa's going to do a Let's Play of a brand new game. That will be on a Monday also, but I don't know what Monday it will be. We'll see. But that's it for us today, folks. Thank you very much for listening to me. If you're at this point of the video, you are a true channel friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate you giving me your time and much kindness to you. Thank you, everyone, for coming to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. We're currently moving up. Our subscribers have gone to 55. Awesome. We jumped by 2. Thank you. New folks coming to the channel. Kindness to you. Thank you for coming here. I hope you stay. And I do hope that you put your subscription on all so you don't miss any episodes. I promise you we're going to have a great time. We're going to be having a very chill, good time. I'm a great YouTuber to listen to when you take a nap. I am good at putting people to sleep because I have a very mellow, charming voice and I can relax you. So let me take advantage of that. If you're having trouble sleeping, put on my videos. I have MyNoise playing in the background, and it will relax you. So that's it for us today. Thank you very much, and thank you for being here with me during Wizard's Choice. And I will hear you all next time.